It is a beautiful, fascinating specimen. What's his name, Terry?
I'd say it's, by the look of the head there, I'd say it's a Marcus Celius.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's his natural habitat?
Well, with those funny old ears, I reckon the Elstree area.
Right.
Yeah.
What does it eat?
Well, would you believe chicken nuggets?
There you go.
Oh, thanks, darling.
Brilliant. Hey everyone, welcome to Big Brother's Little Brother. Hope you're very well. Very exciting show today because the god that is Terry Nutkins is here to look at the animal behaviour. How are you,
Good to
mate?
see you.
Look at the animal behaviour of the Big Brother house. They've been in captivity now for 39 days. Terry speaking to you later on. Also, ex-housemate law student Marco.
Hi.
He's been a very naughty boy, though, haven't you? You're in the dock today. Yes, you're being accused of crimes against the house. More of that later on. He doesn't know that yet. That's very exciting. We've got a big surprise for him as well. But we'll kick off as we always do with Little Brother's Big News. OK, at 7:36 p.m. yesterday evening, the housemates were given 1 hour to don face masks and protective clothing and create an original Big Brother mural using spray paints. Here's how they go on.
Housemates. Today, Big Brother will be providing you with materials to create a graffiti street art mural.
Yay!
Just like little BB5 crew massive.
Is everyone going to sign it?
Whichever colour you prefer.
What colours are fine? Is that red? Oh, those are nice colours too.
Oh, it's a fast colour.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I have some of that colour?
you shouldn't. That's exactly right. Get everyone on now. Oh, yeah.
OK, Marco may have left the house, but it seems his old friends are in no hurry to forget him as they join in a quick round of impressions.
But I was sort of saying, yeah, you know, I didn't always agree with Marco all the time, but I really miss him because he's not in the jacuzzi. He's not like...
I know, he's not going...
Quiet, yeah. But he's not singing Disney or something, yeah. No, that's just...
Me and him doing that.
Yeah, just you sort of going rubbing him into your bosoms and him going, get off me! And I wanted to crown him all the time with the chicken nuggets. Yeah. And he was just, more chicken nuggets, more chicken nuggets.
I'm sorry, but I just can't live on vegetables. As if they would kill him.
Admittedly not very good impressions, but they were impressions. And today, Big Brother decided to send the housemates back to school by way of this week's task. Big Brother is headmaster and the housemates are the pupils. When the school bell rings, the housemates have 5 minutes to get into school uniform and be ready for registration. Here's what happened this morning.
Registration, man.
Oh, OK, cool.
How do you have? 5 minutes, man.
I didn't do the north. Is that okay?
Fine.
Then it's
Quickly on.
You're in trouble.
Quickly on.
I took mine from my bed.
Better manners to
This
stand.
is the headmaster. All pupils must remain standing facing the walkway.
Yeah, I thought so.
Walkway.
Walkway.
Oh, we want to be on the fifth row.
Silence in the classroom.
OMG, breaking news. After ignoring continual warnings about discussing nominations, Big Brother has punished Jason and Victor by not allowing them to nominate this week. That'll put the cat amongst the pigeons. More about that on tomorrow's show, I'm sure. That was Big Brother's Big News. Yesterday's show, mad show, loads of stuff in it. So yesterday's Cool BBLB was quite simply Ask Marco. We didn't really get through that many callers, like maybe 3 or 4. So today's Cool BBLB is quite simply Ask Marco something else. These are the numbers to call. Joining us now to cast an expert animal eye over our very own human zoo is small screen legend Terry Nutkins, everyone.
Good to see you, Dermot.
Terry, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. What a fantastic place.
It is. You've come all the way from, like, north of Scotland.
All the way from, well, opposite the Isle of Skye, yeah.
To be here with us.
To be here
and then
with you lot.
you're going straight back.
And I'm going straight back.
That's passion.
Yeah.
We love it.
I'm flying.
Now, we all know you as an animal expert. Right. How similar is animal to human behaviour?
Well, it is similar, but it's different. If you take an animal out of its natural environment, out of its natural habitat,
yeah.
a number of things can happen to it. One, it can become insecure. Also, it can become dominant as well. And that's basically what you're doing here. You're taking these people out of their natural environments, out of the environment they know and feel secure in, and you're really putting them in a confined area.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of reactions there, a tremendous amount. You're going to get someone that's subservient. You're going to get someone that's really, really insecure, will sit in a corner on their own and say and do nothing.
Sure.
And you're going to get the dominant ones as well, the ones that actually want to take control and, you know, make sure everything's working. But basically, all those people, I find it amazing that they can all be in captivity like that,
sure.
in a secure area.
Sure.
It's incredible. It's lovely.
With the gift of reason as well.
Well, the gift of reason, yeah, but all of them are insecure, and they've all got to prove themselves one way or the other.
Yeah.
And some of them do it by being constantly funny all the time, you know, jumping up and down and laughing and screaming and shouting. Others do it by you know, asserting their dominance, by being cool and sort of walking around sort of macho and doing the thing that they feel is the right thing to do.
It all sounds very familiar.
It's
yeah. I mean, does it remind you of a zoo when you're watching it?
Does it remind me of a zoo? No, I think it reminds me more of a safari park.
Interesting, good. I just thought you were going to just flatly refuse me the old zoo.
No.
Why more of a safari park? Because they're...
Well, because they're spread out a little bit more than what you get in if animals are in a confined area in a zoo, I mean, this is not too confined. I mean, they've got a bit of space there.
Yeah.
But their behaviour, I mean, they're not actually fighting each other.
Sure, well, OK, well, what do you make of the whole jungle cat group? I mean, this is Victor and,
right,
and Jason. Are they...
Yeah, they call themselves jungle cats, don't they?
Yeah.
More like a pride of lions, really.
Really? In what way?
Yeah, because you've got the lion itself, who's the head man there, and you've got the cubs, which are always messing around with each other, and you've got the females, which are trying to control all the cubs and look after things. I would say they're more lions than jungle cats.
Yeah. Rather than your tiger, say, your isolated predator.
Yeah, your isolated predator, yeah.
Gotcha. OK,
yeah.
We've noticed some distinct animal-like behaviour, so we want to get your expert analysis on this. First up, we've got a clip of pacing. Take a look at this pacing. First things first there, Terry, do you like our CGI graphics we've got going on?
Yeah,
pretty smart.
Fantastic.
What's with all the pacing?
Well, it could be for a number of reasons. One, because they need their own space. And to do that, they just have to get away from everyone else and pace up and down to think about what they're going to do during the course of that day.
Yep.
Or it could be because they're frustrated, and some animals that are brought into captivity from the wild do a lot of pacing. Not so much nowadays, because most animals are born in captivity, so they don't do it so much. But animals that are brought in from the wild will pace up and down.
So when you go to the zoo and you might see the
big
cats or whatever just going up and down. Or
yeah, well, it's also natural for them to do a lot of walking, because in the wild, in their own environment, in their own habitat, they do a tremendous amount of walking.
Well, Ahmed, who we saw there, on average he averages 4.8 miles a week. And Jason averages 3.96 miles a week, so that's a fair bit of walking there. The other thing we noticed is grooming. Now, you know a lot about this. Some individuals, some are groomed. Take a look.
Don't get it often, then.
Is it here too?
No, it's just crazy.
Is that enough?
Yeah. Like what's up the back of the work?
Darling, I've swapped your art historian librarian highlights for some Beach Babe highlights.
Thank you very much.
Is that all right, sir?
Yeah. I totally trust you.
Terry, why is grooming so important in this
Well, it's
situation?
bonding, isn't it? It's bonding. It's saying, look, I don't want to fight you. It's much nicer to be close to you, and also it's a nice feeling to be groomed as well. But it's also a form of being subservient, you know? Because they don't want any friction. They don't want any fighting whatsoever.
So letting someone groom you is subservient, or grooming the process itself?
Yeah, I mean, some animals, it's being subservient to allow to go and say, look, you know, I want to get close to you, and I allow you to do it.
Yeah.
But also, it's a sort of strong bond, building up a relationship, if you want.
What kind of animals
what I found interesting there was the shaving of the legs.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
I've got quite hairy legs. I could have
Lovely.
that later on.
It's Scottish Island legs,
That's
those.
a Scottish, yeah, no, good.
Look at that tan.
Look at that tan. Yeah, Scottish tan. So, yeah, I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. It's good.
OK, cool.
Yeah.
What sort of animals are we looking at there? The old monkeys?
Chimpanzees especially, yeah. I mean, chimpanzees do a lot of bonding and a lot of grooming.
Yeah. OK, now, normally in the animal kingdom, males rut over the females, but in the house, the females are far more predatory. In fact, they're the ones that are rutting. Take a look.
Yeah.
You've missed me loads. I've missed you loads. Just give me a fat slag, for God's sake.
Can I tell you my thing? That, you know, Woody Allen said there's nothing wrong with sex between a man and a woman. Right. Just finding the right man and woman to get in between. Sorry.
Maybe I should just not wear this t-shirt at all.
It's all right, though. I like that, too. That's kind of sexy, you know.
Oh, wow, that's really
Watch
cool.
what you're saying, you.
Dominant women in there, Terry.
Yeah, there are a load of dominant women around. Over the last 10 years, women have become more and more dominant. I mean, I don't particularly mind that, do you?
It's a great thing.
It's a good thing. I mean, I like to be led astray quite often.
So is what we're seeing in there symptomatic of what happens in the animal kingdom? Because the lionesses are always in charge of the
well, the lionesses
pack,
the lionesses do all the hunting, yeah.
Sure.
They're the ones basically in control. And the lions themselves are, I mean, quite lazy. I mean, it's got quite a good life they lead, yeah.
Absolutely.
But a lot of animals in the animal world, the females are dominant, yes.
Yeah, OK. More for you later on. For now, everyone, Terry Nutkins. Still to come, Terry's joining me in the camera run to look at the housemates in their natural habitat, and also Marco will be standing trial for crimes against the house. And we've got a bit of a surprise from us, so I'll see you in 3. Welcome back to Big Brother's Little Brother. I'm now in the enclosure, as you can see there, the animal feeding area with animal expert and our friend of the show now, Terry. Terry, what are we seeing here? Oh, Ahmed's just kicked something away there. Is that classic animal behaviour?
Well, yeah, it is classic animal behaviour there, because he's not very happy by the look of his face as well. He kicked the bottle, so he's being he's a bit frustrated, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pacing there.
Loads of pacing. The face gives away a lot.
Yeah.
And that face at the moment is a frustrated.
He's a scowler, isn't he?
He's a scowler.
Yeah, OK. Ahmed there adding to the 4.6 miles he's clocked up already this week. What about Michelle here? She's going through her undies. What exactly is that telling us?
Well, she's being very organised. She's like a mother hen, really. Being organised, looking after everything, making sure that things are clean, because that's very important if you're in a confined area.
Excellent.
You don't want to get dirty. It's preening, really. It's a form of preening.
Brilliant. Terry, thank you very much. So Terry thinks, here's what you think. Which housemates, in fact, correlate to different animals? Interesting. Take a look.
I think Dan's a snake in the grass. He's playing a game.
Shell reminds me of the cat because she's always sitting on the fence.
The housemate that most reminds me of an animal is Dan, and he reminds me of an owl because he's very wise and he's got a long neck. Looks like he could turn his head around.
Nadia reminds me of a camel because she gets humpy when she doesn't get her cigarettes.
I think Ahmed reminds me of a hippo because he spends most of his time wallowing in water.
All I can say about Michelle is that she reminds me of a chicken because that's all she ever says.
I think Victor and Jason remind me of some gorillas because they think they're kings of the jungle when they're really not. They're just bossing everyone around.
I think Nadia's laugh reminds me of a hyena.
Well, Jason, he's big and muscly, and he reminds me of a great big bear.
All rise. This court is now in session.
Order. Order. We now turn our minds to much more serious matters. The next case is Marco Saba against the Crown. Marco Saba. Marco Saba.
This is so obvious.
Enough out of you. I'll charge you in contempt of court. Marco, I will read the charge, provide the evidence, and ultimately pass sentence. In other words, I will seal your fate. The first charge, you must plead guilty or not guilty. Do you understand? Good. Crime number 1, so the charge of criminal damage. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Let's have a look at the evidence.
Oh, big brother! Oh, darling.
know. They won't know. Let's just walk away. Another one. One more.
Order. Marco, do you have anything to say in your defence?
Darling, I'm not guilty.
Irrefutable evidence, we've just seen it.
It fell off.
It fell off. We pronounce him guilty! Crime 2 to the charge of petty theft. Oh, you're so going to plead guilty. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Let's take a look at the evidence.
I'm taking one of those spoons. Can we get you each one?
I've got one.
Do you want one, Nigel?
Yeah, please.
Taking my plate.
Good to see you with clothes on, Marco. Sexy Marco.
She's taking his plate.
I am.
Cool.
Are you taking yours, Michelle?
Oh no, I'll leave mine.
Yeah.
Hey. Should be skanking one of these as well.
Order. Order. I have the offending articles here. Exhibit A, a plastic mug, which you stole. Exhibit B, a little bit of goblet there, action, like the Holy Grail, which we also found in your luggage. Exhibit C, a heart-shaped spoon. Have you got anything to say for yourself?
Oh, darling, I needed some mementos.
Is that it?
Yeah.
What do you think, people? Guilty! The final crime is fraud. Order. How do you plead, Marco?
Not guilty.
You are really getting into this. Which
Yeah.
Totally. Let's have a look at the evidence.
I'll tell you guys a secret, actually. When I was like in some trouble at work once, like there was this position opening, like you know, to move a bit higher. Yeah. So what I did, like I wrote a letter in to work from a customer, like praising myself, saying how good I was.
Saying Marco
That, my friend, is called PR.
And that, and just saying, oh, Marco's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Marco for assistant manager.
I got the position.
He's far too good for the popcorn stand.
The court calls forward a very special witness. Please come in. Please identify yourself.
My name is Tim Ripley. I am Marco's former boss.
Please read the letter aloud to the court.
Dear Sir, Madam, I recently visited your cinema to see The Lord of the Rings with my little girl. We were dismayed to find upon entering the screen that our seats were already occupied. As it transpired, we'd accidentally been sold tickets for the previous performance of the film. Upon explaining the situation to a staff member, Marco, he quickly and efficiently dealt with the situation and assigned us the house seats. I would like to take this opportunity to applaud your company for hiring such a sharp and optimistic character who fully exceeded any expectations of an employee. As we left the film, quite disheartened, he was the first at the door, cheerfully offering parting comments and jokes, very much lightening the very sombre tone. We may not have enjoyed the film, but thanks to Marco, our cinema experience became a pleasant and delightful day out. Many thanks to him. Yours sincerely, Jenny Morris.
Mr. Ripley, did anything happen as a result of this letter?
Of course. Naturally, I asked him into my office. I said, Marco, this is such a great letter. Did you write it yourself? He said, absolutely not. So on that basis, it was only natural that he was promoted.
What did he promote him to?
I think he became a retail coordinator.
Oh. Marco, did you or did you not write this letter?
No.
It's quite clearly... Guilty! They call it rough justice. You should decide the outcome. Do you forgive Mr. Marco Saba?
Go on, then.
There we go. In that case, Marco, you've got to accompany me over here. It's your sentence to call BBLB. Mr. Ripley, everybody. Lovely. You're a bad lad. Very bad man, Marco. Sit over there for us. OK, today's Cool BBLB is quite simply ask Marco something else, because we can get through many callers yesterday. Let's go straight to the phones. Hello, Carolyn from Woking. Hello, Carolyn.
Hello, Dermot.
How are you?
Hello, Marco.
Hi, how are you?
Go for
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, darling.
Good, good. How do you feel the fact that you now know Nadia is a transsexual when she didn't tell you when you were in there?
Oh, I feel absolutely fine. It's not a problem, you know. I love Nadia to bits, and everyone in that house would have accepted her no matter what she was.
Would you like her to tell the other housemates now?
I think Nadia will tell them in her own time.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting because we saw a lot of diary room footage when she came in. She said, "I don't know whether I should or not because I've got nothing to hide. It's not. It's not a secret. It's just my past, and no one else is telling me their past. So why should I tell them mine?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Carolyn.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Bye.
This is Anon. If you were still in the house, who would you nominate to go up for eviction on Friday? 2 people.
I think I would have nominated Jason, obviously. I still think that I probably would have nominated Victor for Emma.
Really? Not Ahmed?
No.
Interesting. OK. Joey in London. Hey, Joey.
Hi there, Dermot. Hi, Marco.
Hi, how are you?
I'm not too bad. You were my favourite housemate in there, by the way, so I was gutted when you went. But anyway, what I want to know is if you've been watching since you left, and is the house as lively since you left? Perhaps it's been lacking in drama?
I watched one episode. I watched the episode on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But that was like my eviction episode anyway, really.
Sure, so that was still about you?
Yeah.
OK,
so, I can't really...
And is your mother OK now?
Yeah.
Thanks, Joey.
Cheers. Bye.
Would you like to live with Nadia when Big Brother's over? From Andrew McLaughlin, Dublin in Ireland.
It's really funny because Emma was speaking to me about this the other day.
What, the 3 of you living together?
Yeah, and Michelle.
Absolutely incredible. One last question. Dexter from Birmingham. Hello, Dexter.
Hello, Dermot. How are you?
Good, mate. Go for it.
Marco, if you were given a chance to go back in the house, how do you think they'd react and what would you do?
I wouldn't go back into the house unless there were certain people still in the house. It would entirely depend who was there.
OK, thanks a lot, Dexter.
Cool. Take care.
That is all for tonight. Thanks to our guest, Marco, Terry Nutkins, and, of course, Tom Ribley. Join us tomorrow. Fern Cotton's popping by. E4 tonight, E4, 7 o'clock, and, of course, all the actors from The May Show, Channel 4 tonight.